Hello, you are listening to the Gamer Librarian Podcast, the best podcast you can find on this side of the multiverse. I'm your host Adrian, and today I will be talking about the recent Future Game Show event, Y2K, a postmodern RPG, and more. Afterwards, be sure to subscribe to be notified when future episodes are released and show your support by liking and leaving a comment. Thank you for joining. All right, we are back. It is another great Monday. Welcome everyone for joining us. I have my crush here, pretty good orange soda, and yeah, we're enjoying another lovely week. So there was some gaming news that came out, and we're gonna be talking about all that plus a few other things. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to be talking about things in the future. We're in the era where video game announcements are pretty much right around the corner. We're gonna get a whole bunch of stuff pretty much every week, which is awesome. I think that's great. Um, I know that just now we had the Future Game Show, which we're going to talk about. I don't know if we covered Future Game Show pretty much last year. It's pretty hard to remember, but I didn't pay much attention to it this time around. And sometime around next episode, we'll be talking about a musical called Ride the Cyclone, which is pretty awesome. Excited about that. And that's about something with these kids on a roller coaster, and I don't think they're dead yet, but maybe they're supposed to be dead as they tell the story. That's pretty much the synopsis that I got, something like that. But I'm excited to talk about it. It's been a while since we saw a musical, and right now I got some London broil in the fridge. We put some stuff together and it's just marinating, so I'm pretty excited to get that cooking. We're doing JoJo's Bizarre Adventure RPG like later tonight, so it's gonna be a nice little dinner to be playing that game. I think we mentioned playing that game for a while. We do Elder Scrolls as well, and that's just with my friends. It's just all pretty fun. And then we got like ice cream. We got this mango Dunkin' Donuts refresher ice cream that's refrigerating, so pretty excited about that. Might share pictures of it, so it's gonna be pretty good. I'm excited to be back to making ice cream. So every week, that's pretty much basically what we do. Talk about the new games and whatever else weird food I make, and there's a whole bunch of, small gaming news. So, we've been playing Monster Hunter Wilds recently. I'm about level 75 or HR 75. Would really like to get to level 100 before the DLC comes out. 100 level 100, that would be pretty awesome. I really enjoy Wilds, and I feel like going back to it all the time. I wish there were like actually more monsters. It's kind of like once you kill all of them, it's relatively the same. But hopefully the DLC will squash that. But they do have a update coming up with their showcase that's tomorrow on Tuesday, March 25th. So I'm excited to see what they're going to put out for their first free title update, which I believe will probably come specifically in April. It's pretty cool. So that's going to be a reason to go back to it. So I still have it downloaded on my PS5. That's going to be pretty awesome. And this page won't load, but there was a trailer for this cool game called Finch and Arnie. You're like a detective with a dog, and it's a narrative co-op online game developed by Octarine Arts. I don't remember any game by them. They're not really very familiar, but it's set during like the Great Depression, and this game looks awesome. So we're gonna be keeping an eye on that. I think you could play as like a cat too or something from the trailer. I think I remember, and that seems pretty awesome. So I have to keep an eye out for some of these indie games. It comes out to like PC, Steam, which is gonna be pretty cool. I always like those kind of games. Piece like online co-op, that seems pretty fun for a detective kind of game. And then so the elephant in the room, right? Assassin's Creed Shadows came out. Big controversy. This is just an article that I had, I think probably Tuesday or so as the game came out, and the Prime Minister of Japan made or answered a question, I believe, related to Assassin's Creed Shadows, and apparently the response is to pretty much close off, protected areas, or I think more specifically like shrines or maybe religious iconography, whatever they might have for their customs. They're being closed, and I guess they're having a tourist problem, which is horrendous. I think if you're doing that, you're just stupid. Like, why are you doing that? Regardless of a video game or just, it's just behavior is just deplorable. Uh, there's a whole bunch of reasons that Assassin's Creed is maybe not the game for everybody. I've been hearing mixed reviews. Apparently, it's not too bad. I've cheated on the Assassin's Creed series for a while. I did get to Odyssey, and I didn't really finish Odyssey. That game, I feel like that games are too large, and I just really couldn't specifically get into it. The new ones. What was not Origins, but the one in Egypt was actually really great. did actually finish that one, even though it was really long. And there's a whole bunch of other things about Assassin's Creed Shadows that I don't really specifically care for, but I feel like I've fallen off that franchise for a long time. But it isn't great to see you know, a company that I used to like kind of just, really catch fire for another really bad title release. And whatever happens, it happens to Ubisoft. But Assassin's Creed is still a pretty good franchise. The older games really hold up. So I know they have like those remasters of the first like Ezio trilogy and all that. So those are really worth it. But man, the later games are just really, really odd. They have like RPG elements. They have weird different kinds of stealth for the most part, and now we're having like weird controversies like this. So who knows what the Assassin's Creed future will look like here, but more specifically, Ubisoft's future with their stock options and everything that's happening to them. There's like rumors of them being, you know, selling off their properties or maybe just selling the company or something like that. So who could really say? And I think we talked about it, but there's like the boys crossover for Rainbow Six Siege. That's crazy. So they're definitely still getting money for some of these games. So I don't know how much the whales are supporting these companies anymore, but it's definitely concerning, considering that there's like a whole bunch of franchises that Ubisoft, may have not really talked about or specifically made new games for in a while. I think there's like a Splinter Cell mention a year or two ago. And we're just gonna move on from Assassin's Creed, but there's a new video game industry-wide union that's only for America. I don't believe we go intercontinental yet. I don't think we're that big, but it's the UVW-CWA is the Communications Workers and of America. That's pretty awesome. So I'm pretty happy to see more of these unions. I think in the light of a lot of the AI stuff, we're gonna have some of this stuff just be there, but it's definitely something concerning, something really crazy to talk about. Um, me personally, I see AI as like an optimistic thing, but it's just very concerning that the industry is actually making, big changes in light of that. Me and my friends were just talking about, how AI is like really affecting art and just stuff like that. And obviously a whole lot of fields is being affected by it. It's crazy. Um, but ultimately, as long as I think it's referenced as when AI is used or how it's used, I think it's going to be really, really important for that. And this is certainly a benefit both sides, indie, single one person made games versus big AAA multi person company games. They're going to benefit just by using it. So it's just overall, I think long term, it's going to be better. We're just going to see a lot more different things. But think about maybe how AI could affect with the modders, the mod scene, and the emulator scene, or just the porting scene for making games be brought over to next consoles, or maybe helping with PC ports and stuff like that, getting them to run properly on PCs. Cloud is still a thing. Maybe that won't work out, but in like 10, 20 years, maybe cloud will be like the new full standard of just streaming games. It's all about progression. It's all about advancement, efficiency, convenience, and ultimately that does come with some caveats of price, job availability. It is kind of what it is, and it's sad to say that we're gonna have to like just make sure it's done in a very ethical, humane way. Yeah, and it's not like plagiarism or it's not like uh I don't know, stealing or something. Because we're gonna see a lot of like weird things with like the pirated weird games or like maybe with just hackers with AI. It's gonna get real weird with the AI stuff within like 10, 15 years. Um so Union, all great. AI, concerning. That's pretty much where we're at currently today. Power's got an update. I really don't know when we'll be playing that game again. We're on track to be playing some games in the future, the rest of the year. But Power did get an update, and I'm excited to go back in that game and just play it eventually. And it's crossplay. It's the crossplay update. Eventually, absolutely, certainly we'll play that. And this is a big one I want to talk about. Okay, there is a new Sims-like game made by a company Krafton, and it's about to enter early access. This is Inzoi. Inzoi is just a small. I don't really know how big Krafton is specifically, but I feel like they're probably small. It's a South Korean company, which is awesome, and it's a Sims-like game. And we haven't had a Sims game in forever. And Sims 4 is what it is. There are things about it that are really horrendous, but Inzoi seems like it's the real deal for a modern Sims-like game, not just the graphics and the lighting. Those are really, really great. But I think that it fundamentally it should come down to how the game runs. I went back to play Sims 3 here on this laptop, and it is not uh, efficiently timed, convenient for your time to load that game in any way. It takes forever to do anything. EA seems to be, kind of hit and missing with Sims 4. It's really hard to say whether or not Sims 4 was a success. I think they keep putting out DLC, but that's totally fine. For Inzoi, they have a whole bunch of really fun, it seems, mechanics. I haven't got a chance to play it. I did do the character creator, and I want to try out the build mode eventually before the early access comes out. I haven't decided if I'm gonna jump right in, but I would really love to play this game because it's been so long since I played a Sims game. I think that type of games like this, the simulator games, they're really fun. They're definitely a part of the gaming like scope or the gaming pie percentage that is really, needed. We talk about, simulator, life simulators, but it's just we need to have them be a little more goofy, wacky. They have a whole, uh, I guess, roadmap, right? They call them roadmaps now for their early access plan and things that's come out. They have like ghosts and stuff, so they're definitely going to be having things that are definitely paranormal and really fun and wacky, which is where the game is to go. I think that what could make this game super great is if they eventually add in a multiplayer co-op mode, build mode, or something, or like a viewer stream mode where you could just like be in the game and view and look around on your own while like it's loaded. Maybe similar to Minecraft. I feel like Minecraft has that. And I think maybe what make it a little more fun is mini games. I think maybe if you have a sim and you make it go karting, make go karting the sim, make the go karting the mini game, or just an arcade or something wacky. The computer games. I remember playing the computer games on the PSP version of Sims 2 Pets, and they always had those ways of like building up your stats. So it's like I'd like to be playing the mini games. That'd be kind of fun. Um, those are kind of little interesting little things I feel like would be, really added to the game. Or mini golf and stuff. Maybe you could build up your character because you're playing the character, you're building its stats that way, not just watching time pass while they do it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And yeah, we'll certainly be trying out Inzoi in the future. I'm excited for that. Certainly, sometime in the future, we're gonna try out the early access, absolutely. And now we're gonna talk about the future game show. So there's a whole bunch of really fun, interesting games that seem pretty cool. Who knows when we're actually gonna really know when some of these come out. Some of them say like early access and stuff. There's release dates like one here for Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I think someone was playing that. I think it was maybe Pirate Software. I might have saw, and it's April 24th that comes out, which is awesome. Animal Use Protocol was the one that really, really stood out to me. I really want to play that. It looked really fun. It's like I think it's a co-op survival horror game. I don't know if it's single player, but I think it's co-op. It's like a puzzle adventure kind of game. That seems really fun. Um, Onimusha, I'll probably play that eventually. I've never played the Onimusha games, but maybe eventually. I'm not super keen on those. Nitrogen seemed kind of okay, and the remake of the end of the greatest RPG of all time seemed really fun. That's April 25th. I think that is actually a remake. I don't know if what the original game came out on or something like that. I couldn't really say, but maybe we'll see. I don't know much about it. I Hate This Place seemed really great, and then of course Once Upon a Puppet seemed awesome, and all these games look really cool. I've been meaning to sometime play System Shock 1 and 2. I think I have the first one on like Game Pass. At least that's why why I saw that I had it, and I'm excited about that. So we'll get like a System Shock 2 remaster for the 25th anniversary. I think that's really really great. I don't remember if maybe the remake fully came out before, but maybe now we're just gonna get a full remaster of it. I don't know much about the System Shock franchise, but I know it's like pretty much the precursor to Bioshock type games, which I'm so excited for. And there's a whole bunch of rumors for a Bioshock game or show or something, but I don't hold my breath. I feel like that game is pretty much donezo. And we got the GOG preservation program, and I believe we talked about this before, maybe a few years ago. And the Silent Hill 4, Fallout 2, and more got put into it, which is awesome. I think things like that is really, really great, especially when we talk about like digital archives and stuff. I think if you're not gonna make a version of your game accessible to buy specifically, maybe you could buy these games on Steam, I know, but like I don't know. I feel like sometimes just fully making these games free will just ultimately be better in the long run for any type of future enlightenment for a, a new sequel or buyers of a new sequel, anything like that. I think maybe not trying to make a remaster for like a bunch of money and make that your new thing, but who could say, right? Konami seems to have it right with the same thing. They're doing the Master Collection of the Metal Gear series before they're doing Metal Gear Delta. That's kind of the same order you should do it. Remaster them, don't remake them. Yeah, and obviously the Fallout show did a lot of things for Fallout, so Fallout 2 probably earned its right, and Silent Hill is getting a big thing with F. But I just think these preservation programs are really dope for digital stuff, digital art. I really like to see that. That's really really dope. That might be telling that we're gonna get a Silent Hill 4 or a Fallout 2 remaster, or maybe who really could say? I didn't get a chance to see specifically all the games that were shown off for the future showcase, but this is just the beginning of the games that are going to be shown off. We still have Nintendo's doing their Nintendo Switch 2 showcase in April 2nd, which I think we're going to get like a few games, probably mostly um, the Mario Kart one that they shown off, and Metroid, obviously. Maybe something with the systems, or I'm sorry, the games being ported into the Switch, the games that'll be operatable, because there's a whole bunch of speculation on what games will or will not be. So I'm actually really excited to see what that could be. That would be really awesome. And then just the last article to talk about before we get into some of the other stuff. There's a, or supposedly there was a Marvel gaming universe where it would just tie in all the Marvel games, all of them together, which is crazy because there's new Marvel games being kind of made right now that we haven't really seen. I don't think that Captain America Black Panther game was shown off ever again. And then there's the what was it? The Wolverine game coming out. Which had the Spider-Man universe. There's the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. There's the Avengers game that super flopped. I guess the Lego video games count, right? There's, which I think would be awesome. Marvel's Capcom, the Rise of the Imperfects, those would be awesome. You got um, the X-Men kind of arcade games that were before Ultimate Alliance, and then obviously Ultimate Alliance is like its own series. Those are three games right there, and I think that would be pretty cool. Just thinking about something like that, but maybe they're shooting too far when they can't even put out some of their uh, more recent content regarding Marvel and all that stuff. Now, besides gaming news and stuff, I try to play games as much as possible. And there has been a game that has been brought to my attention that I never knew about. I never knew existed. I don't even know what year it came out, but its name and its entire existence was completely foreign to me until Monday last week, quite literally. After the last episode was put out, we were doing Elder Scrolls, and before then, we were always talking about stuff, me and my friends. And a friend of mine told me about a game called Y2K, a postmodern RPG, and it was described to me as like an Earthbound like, and I took offense to this. He told me not to play it and that I should like watch someone stream it or play it instead, and I took big offense to that. So I went ahead and bought the game myself, and I fell in love with it. I'm a huge Earthbound fan. It has like faux Pokemon vibes, and I'm a big RPG gamer. This game's perfect for me. It's wacky, it makes no sense, and I'm actually loving every second of it. This game is so fun, and I'm only playing it out of spite to my friend, and I can't put it down. As soon as this episode's done, I'm going back to playing it. It's the best game ever. I'm I don't know what to think about it. It's weird. There's a whole bunch of weird things about it. I think I'll put up some like gameplay of it while the video's going, so you can just see what kind of game it is, and I love it. Eventually, I'll play Earthbound just here for the podcast, which would be so fun to relive that franchise again. And this just makes me really want to play Earthbound again. I'm loving this game. I never knew what this game was. Apparently, this is like the fourth update of the game, and there's a whole history of like it being updated, I guess maybe a few times during its release, which is awesome, super awesome. Made by a team apparently. I don't know what's about it, but I'm loving it. I try not to super look into anything about gaming history or the production of a game or anything like that as much as I can before I play it. I want to go into a game as blind as possible. When I hit start, that's when the game starts for me mostly. Obviously, like some games I keep up with in the news and like I'm a big fan of them, obviously like that. But like if I could have like a blind filter for every single game that I play, I would. I truly would. But sometimes you just can't. But I I fell in love with this game. I'm excited to talk about its ending later on. You might have seen the stream that we did. Uh, I was in Discord with some friends, the same ones that, told me about the game, and I just wanted to play it. Seems really fun, and I'll definitely be streaming it in the future sometime this week if I don't finish it off stream. And yeah, I'm super excited to keep playing that game. We're, of course, still going with the Metal Gear playthrough. That's just going to be a little bit slower. I really haven't felt like just playing Metal Gear Solid 2, but I eventually will because we're getting closer. But probably like April, we're really going to buckle down and finish the last two games. And I'm going to try my best play Metal Gear 4 beforehand, but who really could say what might happen? And then there's the Dune MMO, which I'm super excited to start playing. That's probably free to play, I'm pretty sure. If not, I'll buy it. But I'm gonna reread the whole series of Dune, the first original trilogy, like series, not the trilogy, but everything Frank Herbert. I think Chapter House of Dune might be the last one, or Heretics of Dune. And yeah, I only got up to the third book, and I don't think I finished that. I definitely did Messiah, which is pretty good. I really enjoyed Messiah. So eventually we're going to do those books, and I've been meaning to get back into books eventually just for the podcast, and Dune is probably the best way to start. Yeah, I do think it's time for us to talk about our sponsor, Dubby. Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like other energy drinks. We also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby is an energy drink powder that is produced in FDA registered and inspected facilities in the United States. If you use the code GamerLibrarian, you can use 10% off your order at checkout. And now there's just, everything else that I've been reading to talk about. So we go through video games a lot, and that's a big passion. But I try to like, read as much as I can, and I haven't read a lot of books, but in the last year, it has been manga. I wasn't even really sure if I was going to continue reading manga for the year. I kind of thought I was done after, I believe it was Baki, and I just thought that was kind of it. So there was one that I heard finished, and it had a really cool name. That's pretty much all I knew about it. It was called Orb of the Movements of the Earth or something similar like that. But I just go by Orb as far as I go by it. So it seemed pretty cool. It was about astrology, astronomy, all that kind of stuff. And when I started it, I was like, this would probably be like a goofy, kind of wacky, fun, and maybe like a academy high school faux kind of manga and something like that. Nah, nah, this one is right up my alley. This one is all about like the history of humanity, the struggles that like humanity has gone through to progress as far as we come. This one is a true story. This one has depth. This one has raw moments that make you think. So I don't want to spoil it. I'm still reading it. I'm on like chapter 63 or something, and I cannot put this one down. It'll be done by next episode for sure. Absolutely. It's so good. I put it right there with like Vinland Saga, in terms of like the ones that I know about regarding human history. Just the plight that we've gone through to try and struggle and make better things for ourselves. I I love it. I want to see the ending so I can talk about it just fully in more depth, but it is so good. And that's the thing about these manga. I don't expect to just find another one and super enjoy it. It's like one comes right up to me again, and oh, I'll just love it immediately. And I just feel like that's the same thing for almost everything I've been doing for so far. So Orb is really cool. I really want to talk about more when it's, fully done. So we had new Berserk chapter that came out, I believe, last week. So we talked about that. I just caught up on Dan to Dan 186 and 187. Pretty awesome, awesome, awesome. Who knows what's happening with these powers? Because they're getting some cool powers. I really like them. I loved 87 because it featured a bunch of bugs. Bugs are my shit. They had a bunch of flies, centipedes, and stuff, and I want to know what the hell that was about. I hope it comes back because that's a pretty cool power to have just from playing a piano or a song. It's pretty dope. I miss the anime, to be honest. I would like to watch the anime of Dan to Dan eventually when season 2 comes out. Episode by episode, that's gonna be super fun. We read One Piece 1143. Things are cooking on Elbath. There's like a giant skeleton whacking ships out of the sky. We have Loki just keeps fainting, and it's hard to tell if he's actually dead every time he does this, which is actually a little funny. I wouldn't know. So who could super say? He's probably the escort dude. If he doesn't get healed super fast, someone to protect. Who knows? Um, I don't know where to go with the One Piece, man. We're still on Elbaf. There's a lot that's happening. I feel like Elbaf probably go on the rest of the year, and then we'll have another year One Piece. Who could say when the ending of this manga is going to be? Um, I'm just really excited to see where it's going to go. We had the newest chapter of Wild Strawberry. I don't know what the number is. I just don't have it right here in front of me. And there's a whole lot of stuff going about with the Jinka and its origins with Black Lily. Dude, stuff's going down. It's not just I think Osaka was where it went down originally. It's spread to all of Japan now, everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. I, it's crazy. Those panels are awesome, and this is the moments where I was wanting to see more in the future. When we started out, was more of this destruction and the plants growing around getting everything. I want to see more of that. So it's just waiting to see this get animated. It's gonna be so cool. So I love Wild Strawberry. This one is super awesome. Boruto. We had a new Boruto chapter, and this one was a little more action packed, which was awesome. And we got Komohamaru doing some really cool stuff to these villains, making them love them, all kinds of stuff. Uh, it's pretty enjoyable right now. I'm actually more excited to read it chapter by chapter, just slowly as we do the podcast. I've never been this more excited to do read Boruto in any capacity. It's actually kind of exciting. Did not read, I think, the newest Zatch or maybe there's a Vinland Saga that I haven't read. So we're, going by on a slow process for all these. I really got to get like a definitive list and just really, really keep track. It's difficult. They have such wild release schedules that make it a little hard to continue through, like follow up through. Um, we're gonna get Dragon Ball Chapter 105 coming up, so of course we're covering Dragon Ball. And besides manga, right, we're doing other kinds of reading, and that's comics. Comics are pretty fun. I enjoy them. They offer all kinds of cool, interesting stories. I was told of some really cool comics that I would like to read sometime in the future. So maybe we'll do like a side week where we'll do just side comics. Usually I stick to like the superhero comics. Those are like pretty typical. Wasn't really expecting to get back into comics. We were doing Marvel before. I don't know if I'll go back to the Ultimate Universe anytime soon, issue by issue. But the DC's Absolute series has me hooked. I'm so in it because it's like fully new, original, and I can't put it down. I really just can't. There's Absolute Batman #6. This one had a preview of March of the Manhunter. I think another one did as well. So this one, it's really raw. There's Batman doing some really cool moves against what should I say who the villain is? Black Mask, right? So Black Mask is like kind of the first arc villain, and we just got a tease of Bane, I think, which is pretty awesome. We pretty much recapped on the whatever happened with the zoo and the death of his father. That's kind of a little more vague, but it's pretty much, kind of summed up that he died at the zoo during maybe some kind of um, ransom robbery kind of thing. It's very vague, but I don't think that's super. needed right now. Like we got the gist of it. Things are gonna play out as the story obviously goes along. But we got Batman doing some really, really cool stuff. He has some cool lines, and the art is so sick. I'm just super excited to see what more Batman has to offer. And then we get Absolute Superman number 5. And now that we kind of wrap this up, I'm far more interested to see how the story progressed now, because now we got the Krypton being destroyed. Like that's kind of pretty understood. We had a really cool moments with all kinds of characters within that kind of preview arc. Of course, like Goku's one of my favorite characters, so like this is very similar kind of moment, and I'm a big sucker for that. But Krypton's destroyed. We have a Superman who's like far more vengeful. Like he's definitely angry right now, at least in this current moment, not to really give specific spoilers. And now we're going to be getting into Smarville and the details of him crash landing onto Earth, which I'm super excited for. It'll probably be a little more modern, probably like, he'll probably crash maybe sometime after, 2001, something like that. There was some weird stuff with Brainiac. I'm not really sure uh like what the AI was telling him about Brainiac before. But there's like things about worlds being like and like people being trapped in the worlds. We'll find out more about that I think next issue. So who could say? And then we got Absolute Flash number 1, which is a really really big mystery for the most part. I kind of thought one character was one character for the whole time, but then it kind of was very made apparent that he's not the same character. Um, this one follows Wally West, not Barry Allen. And Wally West, gets powers in an accident, we'll just say that. And it's pretty cool. It's not really understood what the state of the world is, because Barry Allen is like a army brat. Like his dad works for the military. I guess he goes from base to base. Wally is maybe about 15, I think, during the introduction of the comic, and it kind of jumps between maybe a year or some type of time throughout the first issue, which is pretty cool. We're getting some time skips, some time jumps, not specifically characters moving and moving, but it's kind of told in like flashback kind of form, which I think is kind of fun. There's a big mystery for kind of what's happening, and Wally West's dad is kind of a character. He's certainly something. I'm excited to see where this goes. 15-year-old becoming the Flash. Maybe he'll join the Justice League. Maybe he's the Shazam, the kid character. That'd be kind of cool dynamic. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think Absolute Flash was the one with the Absolute Martian Manhunter preview, which seems sick. I think the art being used is so cool. I just want to read the full comic, like from start to finish, and just see where that's going to go. So we're gonna be reading those comics issue by issue as I read them. I don't know about anything else, but you can guarantee absolute DC stuff is gonna be on here as I get available to them. I'm mostly just waiting to see what's gonna happen with like the Justice League, the absolute Justice League team, and that kind of run. That's where I'm super excited for. I've never been this excited to read like a comic series just before. It's really awesome. And just the last like two things to talk about. A TV show got its season 2 finale before, Severance, and what a finale! A lot of questions answered, and the state of that episode is left in a complete blur. Who could say how the next one's going to turn out? But I think that's awesome. I think that show is totally worth the subscription price because it's a super competent show. It's very, very well thought out, shot so well. I just keep thinking about the marching band that's in it, and I'm like, do they have a severed marching band department that's always like on call, just severed, ready to go, or do they like outsource it or something like that? I just find that a little bit funny. Very excited to see what season 3 will be with that show. And then we have Anora. Anora was a fun movie. I thought it was going to be some like really whack thriller that just kind of like fizzled halfway through, but nah, that is a roller coaster. You don't know when you're getting to the top, like the climax. You really don't know what the climax could be later on until it just keeps going and going and going. I love it. Um, it was really enjoyable. It stars some really good actors. It has very sexual moments, and I really enjoyed it. It was a really good movie. I was really surprised by the turn of events. It turned out to be a really funny drama. Like I would call it a funny drama. It's because it's just made to be funny. It's very funny by the end of it, and I think it's just something that's very, very raw. It's a real movie, which is great. I can only compare it to another one, not a movie, but Maid. Maid is a Netflix show about a single mom who does maid stuff, and that's pretty much it. Go watch those. I think those are really good. And yeah, that's it. That's episode 77, where we're getting up there. Episode 100 is, you know, within eyesight. We can see it, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen eventually when we talk about that. That will probably be a live episode. We'll probably do something live for episode 100. Maybe we'll play a game and play for like 2 hours or something, maybe a whole day, something. And I just think it'll be really enjoyable. Anyway, we will see you all next Monday. Peace.